Well, welcome to this JCI Grow2Greatness program that I have been looking so much forward to. And I've been looking so much forward to is because I think one of the great things that we have in JCI is role models that can teach us things, but not only by being people who know a lot, but actually taking the action that is really fantastic. I had the opportunity in 2004, I think. Isn't that correct, Mohammed?
Yes.
To be in JCI Jordan, where we did a JCI lead program, where we developed local presidents. And at that training, we had, I think, 4 gentlemen from JCI Syria.
Yes.
Attending, and they were in the beginning a little bit shocked because they knew absolutely nothing about JCI. But after this meeting, they decided to start JCI Syria, and JCI Syria has been one of the really role models that has just amazed me. One of the things that I have seen over the years is that we have a lot of national organizations that grow to 150, 200, 250, maybe 300 at a maximum. And we see this in Europe, we see this especially in Eastern Europe, but we also see it in Africa and Asia, that new national organizations have a challenge of becoming larger national organizations. And JCI Syria did something different. And for that, I have with me today one of the founders, one of the old guys in JCI Syria, but he's not that old because he was actually national president last year. And we all know the story of Syria and how it's going there and the challenging situations. But I know that Muhammad led, even though it was very difficult, he led the organization great last year, and the organization is still alive and kicking, even though situations might be challenging sometimes. So welcome, Mohammed, and thank you very much for being here. But why don't you introduce yourself just a little bit so that people know where you come from and what's your story, maybe also what you do when you're not doing JCI. I think that will be very relevant for those listening in.
Sure. Thank you, Lars, first for the invitation, second for the opportunity. Hello, everybody. My name is Mohammed Shabarik. I've been with JCI from the early days. Back from Jordan. It was a bit challenging at that time to talk about JCI. The non-profit concept was even new for the country at that time, 2004. It was a challenge for us to make it happening in Syria. We did it. We get the affiliation in 2005 at the World Congress there at that time, and it was like a year and a couple of months to get everything ready for the World Congress, or achieving all the points from potential to provisional national organization. To introduce myself more, I've studied economics, and I'm from Aleppo originally in the north of Syria. It's the second city, it's the industrial and economic city in Syria. It used to be before the war the largest inhabited city, and historically it's the oldest inhabited city in the world. It's 7,000 years old. I've studied economics in Aleppo. I've continued part of my studies in Germany. Then I did a master in European studies in Italy. A few years ago, I did a second master's in the UK. I did governance and policy, especially post-conflict governance. And I work with on research with St Andrews University in Scotland during the last 2 years. Professionally, I'm working as an economic development expert with different international organizations, EU, UN, not only inside Syria, but all around, especially the Euromed region. So I'll be next week in Brussels and Belgium, Brussels, Milan, and then Norway. So if you are around, text me. I'll be happy to meet you. It helped me even JCI was an added value for me because I'm traveling a lot because of work. So I was meeting friends from all the world, discussing ideas, projects, learn what they do, and bring that back, share with them what we do, and give them some of our ideas, projects, impacts, what we do. Briefly, this is about me. I'm still single. This is part because of my job and of JCI. It's hard to marry when you rebuild the organization, restore the organization. It has been a hectic 3 years when we started JCI back again. Let me start with a small presentation just to give you a few ideas, then I'll open the questions. Okay.
You just click the turn screen share on the top, and then it allows you to take something else. Yes.
Okay.
Great. We can see the presentation. It's fantastic.
Okay. Just to give you an idea for those people who don't know Syria, although I doubt that somebody don't know Syria at the moment. Syria is just in the Middle East. It's a small country. It's not that big, medium-sized, too small. Before the war in 2011, we used to be 20 to 22 millions, the population. The capital is Damascus, major economic city, Aleppo, with the coastal cities in Latakia and Tartus. This is briefly in 2011 we have this event starting there. I don't want to talk about politics, but it became a bit violent and become one of the worst crises in the new history. Many people were forced to leave their houses. We have around half of the population are displaced, whether inside Syria or neighboring country or even in Europe or US, Canada. The economy was also destructed. We have a totally destructed area, especially in Aleppo, Homs. You have totally destroyed places. It has been a challenging 7 years. I hope we are now moving towards better solution. This is briefly. And the good news that we are on the news at the moment. Everybody knows Syria at the moment, maybe not in the best way, but we hope with JCI we can make it in the best way. I'm always glad that whenever I meet with people, we put on Google Syria and we search the images, it gives like bad things. And just by adding 3 letters, JCI before Syria, and you can see something brighter than those bad images. JCI Syria, we started in 2004. We get the full affiliation in the World Congress in 2005. We had the first loan of Damascus in end of 2005, fully affiliated. It was closed. Then the whole JCI Syria was closed in 2013. Then JCI Damascus was opened again in 2004. Aleppo was founded like 2 months after Damascus in January 2006, and it was reopened in 2016. Homs was founded 2007, and it has been founded end of last year. Latakia was in 2008. Latakia managed to stay although the war, but they were working very low profile without using the name JCI very much because the whole structure was freezing us. Their reserve has founded in 2009, but we couldn't open it. We hope in 2012 we can reopen it again. Hama in 2010, also it managed to continue even during the war. Tartus in 2016, it's one of the chapters after the war. It's also the same thing for Sweden, JCI Sweden. Membership in 2010, just before the war, in the National Convention, we were around 1,100. In 2014, when we tried to open JCI again, we were only 19 in the whole Syria. In 2016, when I became national president, I started the year with 175, and I ended the year with 609 members. The average number of members per chapter is around 70 members per loan. We have big chapters like Damascus with 202 members. Others small, like around 50. The smallest chapter is 40 members. So this is JCI was managed to have many awards. This is from the meeting Lars mentioned. If you can see Lars just in the corner on the table. This is from our national convention last year. from the opening, we had around 3,000 people attending in Aleppo, which was totally destroyed a couple of months ago. It was considered the most risky city in the world, and most dangerous city of the world. And we had like 3,500 attending the opening there, and it was like something nice to have our members, in addition to other people with us. Why we are working, what is our secret recipe? I tried to share with you 7 hints, which I think helped JCI Syria. It might be useful for you. So first, what I would recommend you recruit the right people. In JCI, I always talk to local president and tell them you need 3 types of members. The first type of members, they are the energetic youth. They are the workforce. They can be students, the 20s. They are in every project. They can handle the daily work of the JCI. They are important. They have the energy. They have the enthusiasm. They can help. They are important, but they should not be the whole organization. In addition to those, you need also the young businessmen, and I'd say businessmen rather than entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs they are at the early stage of starting up their business, and they are not very sustainable, not very stable themselves, so they cannot afford to give from their time, from their money for a non-profit. I'd recommend you to look for young businessmen. In JCI Syria, we have this recipe. We were looking. We were hosted by International Chamber of Commerce, so we were looking for the chamber's member, the second generation sons and daughters, and we were recruiting them. They are already involved in their parents' business. They are stable. They provide us with the financial sustainability. So whenever we need some sponsor for project, they are from our members. They can provide us with the cash whenever we need. The third group is professionals. They can be lawyers, bankers, government senior people. They are well experienced people. They have the know-how, they have the knowledge, they have the connections. They know how to write project, to design good things, to link us. They know how the things can be done, and they are very important. Having this formula, the 3 types of groups balanced, is the factor of success of each local organization in JCI Syria. Because if you want to start a project, you would need the sponsor, who would be from our members, if not from our members, from their connection, friends, their partners. So the young businessmen would provide us with the cash, with the tools, with in-kind resources. Professionals will give us the know-how, how the things will be correct, the training, the connections, the business plan, the management, and it can be done in the right way. And you need also the workforce, the young people that will do the normal things like carrying boxes, staying in our stands, distributing materials, all that things. And this balance is very important. The good news is, after a while, the third group, which is the energetic youth, they will be becoming either businessmen, because they will learn and they will think about starting their business, or they will become professionals and will join the profession. So after time, this group will transfer to either the first or the second group. And the good thing also, in good news in this mechanism, that businessmen, if they find like good, talented young people, they try to work on them, providing them with skills, business skills, to recruit them to become partners or employees, and it enlarge this thing. It's very important to have this balance, because if you lose the balance, if you have only young people and students, it will become a student club. And if you become professional, it will be like a syndicate. They meet like the bankers club, that they meet, talk about only business and professional, and only having businessmen, it become a bit boring work, and there is nothing concrete. So having the 3 of them in everything, don't separate them. You have to mingle them always, to have them all involved in everything, would create the main factor of success. Also about recruitment, I would say use headhunting. Headhunting is a very good tool. If you know somebody is very energetic, we headhunt many people from like Red Cross. We headhunt many from like business sector, from professionals, managers of banks. So it was useful to get them. Look for them about their impact, about their passion, and what can they bring to JCI, not because only they are important. And I would stress here the right people. It's not only just any people. The second thing about yeah.
Let me interrupt just a little bit because we have a few questions that are related to the right people.
Yeah, I cannot see them here, so.
No, it's true. Laurence is asking about gender diversity and age diversity. So how did you, what's the age range that your members are in, and how do they look like, male and female?
Okay, at the moment we have around 55% female, 45% male. It's because males are involved now in the war more than they are either in the military or they are outside the country because they don't want to join the military. The age we have balanced age. We have members. Last interviews I had in Aleppo, I had a member who is just born in 2000, which he is just 18. And I had somebody who applied now to JCI, which he was 39. So we have very diversity of ages, but we are trying to keep this balance. So what I recommend local president is to have a criteria or like a target every year to say this year we'll recruit 20 and based on our profile that the majority of our members are old, so we need to recruit more like younger or the opposite. So try to define what type of members you need based on age, gender, knowledge even. Also, I'll take the example from JCI Aleppo. JCI Aleppo last year, they had many who studied pharmacy or from the pharmaceutical sector. So encourage them to have like from different sectors, from other professions inside JCI. So try to keep the balance, not to have one theme of the organization.
And when you recruit, as far as I understand, and this is my understanding of you from is part of the DNA of JCI Syria, is that you actively recruit. You don't just sit and wait for people to join. You actually go out there and you do things. Laura is asking about more about info on the headhunting piece. You know, how do you currently do that, and how do you work with actively headhunting people?
I'll give you a quick answer, then the full answer will come in my next slides. The quick answer is we use three techniques for recruitment. We have open days, so we have events where we invite people to come to learn about JCI. We post it widely on Facebook, social media. We text people. We tell them that we have this open days. We talk. We bring former members, and it's nice sessions. We have like after that a reception, so people encourage and network, and we push our current members to network with others and to recruit inside these events. We use also our projects, so the beneficiaries from our projects might be also one of the targets. They understand what is JCI and they would be happy to do what they were benefiting from. The third thing, the headhunting, usually we try to figure out who are the like useful people in each group. So, for example, if we are talking about professionals, we say, okay, I want to recruit somebody from X who is in the Ministry of Social Affairs because we have partnership with them. We have met him, who knows them, and we try to do a couple of meetings, invite him or her to our events, to our projects, so they feel JCI, and step by step we take them inside JCI. It happened that we invited even some people with us to international events. Last year we had a trainer coming with us to the area conference in Tunisia and Sousse, and he is now one of our members in JCI Aleppo. So it could be in this way. The full answer would be later on with when I'm going with the slides.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, or can I move to next?
I think just move on, and I'll keep continuing the questions as they come, and we
Okay.
also have some that might be more generic that will come later on.
Okay. Second thing, provide them with values. What I'd say, young people, they are different from elders and from kids. They want to find their past, to be recognized in the community. They have like passion, dreams, and they want to follow this passion and dream. I always take this example inside Syria when I do trainings. In the 60s, the trend was like political parties. So young people were like establishing political parties, joining political parties, because it's the place where they can be recognized, have their weight, have their say, can be actively in the community. Young people would like to be active, and they become like that after they become 16 or 15, 16. They want to be recognized from their family, to be different. And JCI can offer them that. We can provide them the place to come, to bring their ideas, to bring their passion, to practice leadership, to communicate with others, to network, to meet very connected people, to have this connection, to sit in places that they never been, to travel to places they never have been. So JCI can provide them with the value they are looking at, and the value for young people is this, that recognition and to have their past. So try to create this value, to show them that with JCI you are someone and you can achieve all the things you want to do. Maybe in your work, your manager won't allow you to bring new ideas because they are more conservatives. But in JCI, you can bring any idea, any projects, meet any person, get linked with anyone all over the world. So this is very important. Provide them with the value, show them the value. I had this small chat with JCI Japan when I was in the academy about the fees, and I was like surprised how high the fees are, how expensive they are in Japan. And the word was value. You would go to a restaurant and pay like 200 euros for a dinner if you feel that the dinner deserves that amount of money. And you might go like to a small shop and you think 2 euros is expensive for the dinner, if you didn't really feel that there was a value. It was bad, the restaurant service was horrible, the personnel there, they were rude with you. So try to look at the value and focus on that and show it to other people. My third advice is return to basics. And this is something I would highlight because JCI Syria, we missed between 2008 and 2009. JCI is different from other nonprofit. JCI mission is to provide development opportunity that empower young people to create positive change. And just like that, we don't I meet with members now during the war, and they said, okay, we should be involved more in the humanitarian work, we should be more involved in providing health, supporting kids. Yes, we should be involved, but the main mission of JCI is providing development opportunities. This is what we are for. Syria is missing now like young leaders, and what we need is to empower them, to empower those young people to create the positive change that we want. So development. What I want to clarify why we had this problem in JCI Syria. In 2008, all local organizations started to be competing with each other. So if you know that somebody knows this thing, they would bring this person to do that. So for sometimes we had projects which were totally implemented by other organizations. So JCI was just putting their names, and they have members from other organization. We have a service provider that do the logistic or service, the catering. The designing is by designing company. The website, everything is external. Members, they didn't feel why we are doing that. Okay, it was a nice project, totally perfect, but no development opportunities in that. It's good even if you fail, because failing is part of the learning process. If you do wrong decision, it's also good, because JCI, it's a virtual world where you practice leadership with no charge. As a national president last year, I was invited like in the meetings with important people, and it could affect the whole organization. it's a learning experience important for me, because I know that whatever happened, it's still virtual. It's not a big losing. But in my work, in my real life, for my country, it would be a big losing, any small mistake. So practice within JCI, learn within JCI, and focus that here you are to get benefit all from the development opportunities provided. So focus on that development opportunities, provide as much as possible. Try to focus on the things that empower young people. Don't repeat the things. Don't do things you can do. Do the things that you cannot do. If you have somebody who last year I had a meeting with one of our treasurers, and she is a banker, and I told her, why you choose a treasurer? She said, I'm good with numbers and I'm good in accounting. And they said, what was the development opportunity? She said it wasn't that big, although in JCI she was making decisions at her professional level that she cannot do that at the same level. So try to practice things that you cannot practice in your real life. Get the development opportunity. It's not important what you do. It's not important the hours. It's not important that the thing is coming nice. The important what you learn at the end. This is what JCI about. So return to the basic, and you will succeed if you go to that. Opportunities are several within JCI. People join us because they want to travel, to practice leadership, to attend good trainings, to travel, to have parties, to have many things. Even to learn technical things. We try to mix between them, try to be different from others. In Syria, we tried not to do the things that other organizations that do. For example, best business plan was one of the projects JCI was doing. It was very successful 2006, 7, 8, 9. But at 2010, Shell started to do its business plan competition. SEBC had their MENA 100 project. Many organizations started to do that. So we tried to have our different line, which is different from them. Don't swim in the red ocean. I'd recommend you, if you don't know about the blue ocean strategy, to look at that. Try to do the things that nobody is doing. And members will come to you because they know that they can learn these things only from you. And try to focus on that. Projects and impact is important, but learn and get empowered come first. I don't care if you plan a project and start working for that for 3-6 months and then you canceled it. It's important what you have learned from that. So try to focus what your members got, how many development opportunities you created from all your activities. This is what's important in JCI. It's important to recruit, but retention is essential. And I'd like also to add something here. Try to select. In JCI, we don't accept any application. We do a long selection process to make them feel that it's something formal, it's something serious. It's not. They are not joining any organization. It's very prestigious to be within JCI. So they have the interview, test, meetings, and they have a probation period of 3 months. They have to attend orientation during the first month, attend official training, impact and achieve. Then they can become fully members. So try to do that also. They feel that JCI is serious. When you lose one member, to grow you need two. So some organizations that are focusing on only recruitment, having more members, this is good, but it's not important as retention. It's important, but also you need retention too. Because members are not replaceable. If you lose somebody, they have the experience, the spirit, the know-how. They can transfer it to JCI, new members. I always say to new members, in JCI, you get the knowledge not only from attending training or being in part of the project, but also by being in touch with old members. Old members are like mentors for you. You need those mentors to get their advices, to get from their experience, their ideas. They have the spirit. If you start to lose old members, it's very risky. You have to work on both things: recruitment plus keeping old members. I have this graph which I want to share with you. Usually, the life of members in JCI is not only JCI and all non-profit, it's short. In Syria, it's around 5 years. So when they start joining you in the beginning, their activity is very low because they still learn. They don't know everybody. Even in JCI, we have a lot of abbreviation: NP, LP, TR, TOY. So they find that it's very difficult. They need support. So their influence in the organization is a bit limited. It's increasing till the first second year. Then they start providing. They have this kind of peak. They get all the position. Then slowly they start to disappear, not attending, not being present. Up to that, they are not paying the fees and leaving the organization. This is risky. What you have to do is to work on the graph like that. You have to accelerate the process of reaching the peak. So doing orientations, working on new members, linking them with old member, providing working as mentors. It's very useful, this mentor thing. And keeping them involved, whenever they disappear, try to bring them in project, give them advice, try this, go that, give them tasks. All members, they like tasks, especially those special tasks. So this task, nobody can do it except you. We want you to take this very special mission to meet with the mayor or the UN to talk about the project. We know that we have good new members, but you will do it better than them. You'll do that great. Bring somebody, teach them. They will be involved. Try to keep them, and even not only that, they'll be their effort will be decreased with the time. It's something natural. But try not to make them reach the bottom to leave the organization. Try to offer them with others the membership schemes, like attending activities, being in the interviewing committees for the new members, small activities, but not to lose the organization. Try to invite them to your event, international events, even if they are above 40. Try to keep the connections. It's very important not to lose them. Members are an asset of the organization. So this is my recommendation. Try to change the graph to be with the orange graph, not the red one. Last year, the slogan was, I'm JCI, you are JCI, we are JCI. And I totally agree with what President Don. The real brand of JCI, yes, you want to add something?
I just wanted to ask you some questions because there's people seem very intrigued about your recruitment strategy and also the retention one. And Lawrence is asking if your recruitment process could scare some of the highly talented people. It's a discussion they have in Belgium, and that a recruitment process tend to scare people. Do you have any experience with that, or how do you do that?
Yeah, this was my next slide, so I'll try to start with it and answer with that. JCI is not only the logo. It's not easy to explain JCI to externals. To learn JCI, you need to be part of it, to practice it. We are different from other organizations. We have our nature, spirits, JCI spirit, something exists, and even local organization, they have their spirit. Your brand is your JCI members. So I've took these pictures. When I'm talking about JCI, it's those people. So when you select the right people, they will be your brand. For example, for JCI Aleppo, I would like to be with this group, which is the LP of last year. Nail, he is the branch manager. He is the region manager of France Bank in Syria. Noor, she is the SARC officer in Aleppo. SARC is Syrian Arab Red Cross. Businessman. I want to be with this group. It's not easy to be with this group. Just being with them, it's like opportunities, networking, having fun, having the correct group. You'd have fun. You'd have opportunities. You'll learn. So try to focus to keep one wrong member entering the organization can destroy the whole image. The image of you, it's not just the logo. It's the people. usually when inside Syria, I hear this when I go out. They say, "What is JCI?" And they start talking about JCI, and then they say, "Okay, the organization that its national president was in 2006, Mazen Murtada, Abdel Ghani in 2007, Omar Khiyami, Muhammad Shabari, those names." And yes, yeah, I want to be with them. They are successful. I want to be with this group. And this is something you have to use in your marketing strategies. Show who you are, try to focus on them and make them loyal. In JCI Syria, we started something last year. We started to put our we created many promotion material like jackets, vests, t-shirts, and we started even to put that in normal life, like going out, going to the gym, and people would recognize, oh, okay, those are the JCs, they are those that are JCI, and I want to join them. How can we join them? And it's like in the talk industry, they recognize us from our vest. Uh, Maybe we learned that from United Nations and Red Cross. They come the streets and you recognize them from their uniforms and the vest, and you have this respect and the image, the whole halo behind them. And this is nice to have it for JCI. They would like when they know that X and Y are members in the organization. They would like to that. We use that in our marketing in all the national organization. They say we had. Presidents, ministers, famous people, famous businessmen, they used to be members in JCI. It's nice to say that they used to be members, but also I want to know who are the members at the moment. So try to show them in the pictures, in the Facebook, in your promotion materials. Try to make them part of your marketing. Use them as recruiters. They are the best recruiters. This is, I don't know if that answered what the question you were trying to ask.
I think so. It did. What I understand from it is that you use your past members. It's like Harvard. You don't really care who's in Harvard right now, but you know who were there.
Yeah.
So it's
and no, even we try to use them that they are currently here, even with the current members. We try to show them. Yeah.
Because that's actually one of the things that Laura was asking. What kind of retention tools work best for you? Because I know that Abdel Ghani and some of the guys who started JCI Syria 12, 13 years ago, they're still around, and your members tend to stay online or stay with you for a long time.
Yeah. The thing is, you have to change your membership schemes. You have to create like different levels, different layers of membership. So for somebody who used to be in the organization, you can't give them like normal tasks. You have to define for them specific tasks which are different. For senators, we invite them to different event which is different from members. We ask them for tasks and missions. They are different from like new members. In each learning stage, JCI is like an academy. When you join at the age after 18, 20, 22, you start learning. By 40, you have to be graduated with skills that JCI provide. And as much as you can attend activities, events, you get more skills, abilities, and competences. So we try in JCI to involve them and to show them something interesting, values interesting. So Abdel Ghani would be very happy to call him and to say, okay, President Abdel Ghani, come provide this meeting. Or, okay, next week we have a meeting with the Prime Minister and I want you to be with us. To give a right presentation of JCI. They would love to that, but I won't call him like every day. He would find that very hectic with his busy life, with his wife, kids, traveling, what's happening with work. But I know when I call him, it's the correct call, and he would respond to this call. So this is what I recommend with former members. Try to give them tasks that they would like and find challenging, and they are recognized after that. Everyone would be happy to recognize in front of new members that those are our assets, those are our old members, those who brought the organization to you over those years. He was the project manager of this, she was the local president, and we talk about their history, and they would be very happy to share. They want to, I would tell you a secret. From all members, they would be happy to be invited to an event of local organization, their local organization. If it's really big, successful and nice. But if the organization become bad, they would try to dealing them from the local organization. But whenever it's successful, they would say it's like universities. When your university is doing well, you'd say, okay, I've graduated from this university and I was part of that. And every time we like post all photos on Facebook on our page and our events show like in 2006 that was this project and X and Y were part of it. So we try to show our old members to the new and keep them linked.
So what you're saying is that what I know from the years that I've been following JCI Syria is that you have high standards. You have high standards for the members you recruit. You have high standards for the projects you do. You have high standards for the training and for the events that you do. And by having high standards, it's also easier for people to continue coming with you and staying with you.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Because they would look the values. They don't want any normal opportunities. So the training they want to attend, it's not happening anywhere except in JCI. The people in JCI, they are not normal people. I always say JCI is for everyone, but not anyone can be a JCI. They should have the spirit, the attention, the willing to learn. They are leaders, they are active citizens. They have to have characteristics, which is JCI. So we even make this joke when we do interviews for new members that we say he is a JCI by blood. He has the spirit inside him or her. So we can figure out that. In addition, we recruit from time to time members that they are not within this atmosphere, and we work on them to try to provide them the spirit, and we think that they have the potential in being JCI. So raising the standards is very important. The type of project, the training, the activities, they need to feel the value.
And it's also a continuous leadership focus that standards should be high. That you should never admit mediocre standards from anyone. So if a member or a local president is not doing well, leadership will help support and really challenge them so that they perform well.
I would say we would provide them with support rather than JCI. At the end, it's a learning process. So it's normal that they do some mistakes, and not every local president or national president was perfect. But the whole thing should be it's at the end the image of JCI. So we need to support. We need to recognize mistakes. We need to support failures, to admit failures, and do it in the correct way. So Absolutely. It happens. It's not always perfect. It's not always up to the standards, but we are always trying to keep it up to the standards.
Exactly. The aim is to perform well. And it's not just to do 11 events a year or do this project that we've done the last 15 years. It's actually making sure that, as you said about your best business plan competition, that if you can't be the best in the market, find a new market.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Find new products.
Mm-hmm. We try in JCI also.
Yeah,
we try, just a small clarification. In JCI, we try to come with project, then transfer it to other organizations. So, for example, we have YES, which used to be the Young Employment Strategy. It's a project to introduce student schools to business world, to have the entrepreneurship concept, culture, even inside of the schools. Now it become an institution, an NGO with its board of director, with a staff of around 60 people, and it's separated from JCI. It started within JCI, then the project manager, he used to be a member, now he is heading this NGO. We worked on a project with kids with cancer, and now it's a charity that supports kids with cancer all over Syria, and with a portfolio of billions of Syrian pounds. So we tried to have our project to become standalone activities outside JCI, and to have the butterfly effect, to bring something that nobody would think about or try, to have a success story, proved concept, and then to transfer it to the community. Somebody else would continue.
Great. Tim is asking if high standards are the same thing as being exclusive, and making members prove their worth to be a member?
I won't say exclusive, but yes, they should feel that it was to be a membership. They need to feel that they have to be serious. The long membership process, the long selection process, I would say, would support them to feel that they are coming to a serious place, and we involve all members. That the process take around 4 to 5 months to become member. Before interviews, tests, meetings, and then getting the decision, training, orientation, and the 3 months of probation period. So it's around 4 to 6 months up to the member how fast they are doing their commitments. But they feel that it was not easy to become, and they don't want to lose that. So we try to focus on that. We are not exclusive. We try to accept as many members as we can, but according to our goals. So each year, the local board put their targets for the year of membership. So the target, as I said, it's not only number. It's we say how many males, females, age, professions, backgrounds, and each in the 3 groups, and they start recruiting within this.
Great, great. Laura is asking how can we quickly train and bring up to speed a local president that does not have a lot of experience in JCI? Do you have any recommendations for that?
Wow, this is this was my actually my problem in JCI when I came, because as I said, we had to come back in 2015 with 19 people only, 19 old members, but we are at the age of 10 because everybody would see JCI from outside as an organization with 10 years old and with the big heritage, big projects. So we were just 19. Who has to bring what was 1,200 members doing before the war. It was not easy. We started recruited members doing the trainings. They were not really involved. Official trainings are very useful. So achieve impact, if you do admin, if you do them in the right way, they are useful. We developed our, thanks to ours, after Japan Academy, I returned, I developed a smaller version of that. So we have our smaller local President's Academy, which happening at the beginning of the year. We try to work with local boards and national boards, because even in the national boards, we have many of them who are new. Last year, I had in my national board a director, which she was only 1 year in the organization. Noor, I think many of you has met her, the World Congress Area Conference. She was very active last year internationally, but we worked with them to provide that with the training. The training was very intensive. We brought that practicing, and it's not easy. You need to provide them mentoring. Training is good, but all members, mentors, they are useful. Even if they are in Syria, many of all our old members, they are not back, not because they don't want to come back, but they needed to leave the country. There are migrants in Canada, US, Europe. The Secretary General of JCI Jordan used to be a local president in JCI Damascus. We have local president in Turkey. He used to be vice president in local JCI Aleppo, in London, all over the world. We have our members. We try to keep them linked, even remotely, through internet, Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype, to provide skills. And we always tell them it's not wrong to do failures and mistakes, but you have to ask, you have to follow. We try to develop some manuals, ready-made, customized things, templates, forms, even the small things like letters they use in daily life, financial forms they can give to members. We try to develop them to customize that, and we worked on bringing trainers from outside. It was not easy. Last year, the first training from international trainers was the COC Academy. We brought 2 from JCI Estonia, Kyra and Peter, to come to deliver the COC Academy, and it was very useful. Our members couldn't make it to go during the last 3 years to the COC Academy because of the visa. So we are pushing to bring trainers and knowledge from outside.
Great.
Okay. Can I move or
So
more questions?
you can move on.
Yeah.
There are still questions coming in, but just
Yeah,
move
I
on with
have
the
two
last one.
slides. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, great. Yeah.
There are many trade-offs within JCI. Try to balance between them. The institution is the important thing, not the people. I think this was one of our mistake in just before the war in 2010, 2011. We were like a lot dependent of a number of people, founders, some professional people, and when they left the country, JCI Homs closed just because 6 people left JCI Homs because nobody knows anything about how JCI Homs work except those 6 people. So it's very important to have the know-how within the organization, not within the people. We never thought that something would happen within Syria in 2010. It was like something funny to say a war can come inside Syria. But it happened. The crisis happened. And when people left, the institution fell. In 2012, we closed because nobody was there. The files were lost. Nobody know how to do things. And members started to join humanitarian work, political work, without even using JCI name, without even contacting national board, local boards, and it became a mess. We had some problems with the government, with our whole structure, the ICC. So it's very important to focus on the institution, and it's in our values and it's in our creed. So focus on that institution. If somebody knows how to do it, it's time that he has to leave and to bring somebody new to do it well. I know in JCI Syria, the media officer on national board, Mirna, Senator Mirna, she used to do this work from 2006 till 2012. And when she left, nobody knows what press organization we used to contact, newspapers. We don't have any phone numbers. We don't know how to. We didn't know how to make a press release because nobody was trained. So whenever somebody is well trained, he can do it well. It's time that he leave. The GCI is not about doing it. It's about to learn how to do it. The second trade-off, old members with new members. You have always this challenge. Old members think they know how to do things. They have the spirits. While new members they come, they think they can change everything, and they find some difficulties to mix. You have it's local president's task, main task, how to mix to mix them between them, to give them balanced task. It's wrong to have groups within JCI within the same local organization. It's an alarm for local presidents. Makes them try to give tasks to post them. Use old members as mentors for the new members. Other thing, external image is important, but also the content is important. Some local organization, it was one of the mistakes we had in 2012, 10, 11, 12, that we were focused about the external image. So we have like for each project a big gala. It's not one gala for the year. Like we had in the 1 month like 6, 7 galas, and all of them like in 5 stars hotel, and in each gala like you have 6, 7 ministers and all the media TVs are presented to cover this project, and it's big budget. It's nice, but then you come to the content. It's not something really big that's happening. Try to focus on the content also, because the content is what's remaining after the image is gone. The impact. I'm very glad that many of our beneficiaries who used to be benefiting from JCI projects in the past, they are members today. Because in 2006, I have one of the members now, vice president. He used to be one of the kids attending our YES project, the youth employment strategy. He was one in the schools when JCI members came and explained how you start up your project, how to write a feasibility plan, how to get funding. And he was like saying, okay, when I grow up, when I become 18, I want to join them. And now he is part of our organization. He is a vice president, local vice president. So the content is this thing overlasting, while the external image is the directing. Both are important. Focus on both of them. Proficiency, but not another job. Um, I would say you need professional people doing nice things. So it's good if you have a treasurer who is a banker. He will do it great. He will have, I'd say last year, the local treasurer of Aleppo, she had the best financial report. She did an auditing with all the receipts, all tied and filed and all systemized on the system. And it's amazing job. But for her, it was like another job. JCI, it should not be another job. It's not a task. It should not become boring. It should not become a routine. It should be a place where they express themselves and start their career, learn, have fun, have friends. So we have to focus on that. Getting professional people is nice, but don't if you have somebody who is good in filming and photographing. So his task is the media director for long, and he's doing only this task. There are many balance trade-offs within JCI. I try to balance between them, and this would help you. I try to share with you a few that I remember today. I think they are useful. Last advice: believe. JCI, I always said, and I said that last year to President Don, JCI is not a luxury. It's a must and need of our days. When you look to the news, all the wars, all the terrorist act, what's happening, I won't talk about much to politics, name presidents and people, many events happening all over the world, they are bad. And young people feel themselves a bit isolated, disattached from what's happening. We need the young people. In JCI Impact Training, we say the future is for young people. No, it's not the future. It's today. It's for the young people. In Syria, what's happening? The war. I'm affected. I'm affected in the war. Many of my members are affected because of the war. They lost jobs. They have to join the military. They have to leave their houses. Their houses are destroyed. They are affected because of this politics about the events of today. We are not talking about the future. It's today. So we need to empower them. Syria, this picture is from last year in Aleppo. We had IVP Riyam Abdel Hadi from Jordan and Senator Nahla Nasir from JCI Tunisia. And this is in the back has used to be the premises of JCI Aleppo. It's totally destroyed. It has been exploded from down. I think we can build it again if we have the right people, the correct people. We need to empower them. We have to have our say. I'm part of the Geneva Peace Talks. I was invited to talk on behalf of young people, and I would say that okay, all fighting parties are doing wrong things. Young people are losing. It's our future. We want to build it. We want to bring it. Whenever we travel, attend international events of JCI, we tell like other members, you have to believe what you can do. You have to believe in your organization. You have to believe in your team. We in JCI Syria believe in you. We believe that if I need anything, I'll call JCI Belgium, JCI France, and I would ask them for their support. I would ask to support us, to give messages, idea. I know that they have the resources, the power. So believe in this organization. There is a lot of things in this organization. And today we need JCI the most. We need empowered young people who are active, positive, and can make change. We need to change everything. It's bad that we see all this politics, all the war. We are divided, fights, war, unions are breaking. It's not the best time. But if we prepare the people for the next time, they will become. I'm always saying to our members, out of this 600, I can see those who will rebuild Syria, those who will become ministers of the new government, those who will become directors and headmasters of school that we would rebuild, the teacher they will teach our kids that war is bad, that we are connected, that debate skills is important. We can discuss things and disagree on ideas, but it's not correct to fight and create wars. JCI is never a luxury. It's a must and needed. Believe in yourself, believe in your organization, believe what you can do. We believe in you, believe me. In JCI, they look at JCI and the whole organization, they think that it's something big and it's they can rely on them whenever they need. This is all what I wanted to share. I hope it was useful. I think this helped in JCI Syria. This helped me personally as national president in 2017. It helped me to manage to grow JCI Syria from. We started with. I started the year with 175. I ended it with 609 members, like triple the number or even more, 4 times the number. The good thing, I was in Aleppo last week. We had the big orientation, and they told me. Hama around 60. I was with local president Hazem. I think he's online also. He told me that they received 60 new applications. It's nice that we see people value the importance of JCI, that they import them. JCI at the end, it's the virtual words. I was said maybe the president chair. It's not something very privileged. It's privileged and not. Maybe the minister have all this privileges and benefits, but I did the same things as a prime minister last year. I was sitting in places discussing with the United Nations national representative, with government parties. I was talking on the Voices of Kids. I managed press conference. I was on the TV many times talking. It's something important. It doesn't have words, but if you make it, it can make a change. It's a virtual word. It's nice to learn from it. Let the people feel that it's worth being a JCI, and they will become that. It would be an addiction. And thank you. This is my contact if anybody wants to send anything later on.
That is great. Absolutely. Let's get you back on video so we can see your wonderful face just once more. Yeah. Well, I just think my greatest learning from this today was, first of all, be proud of what we do and understanding that JCI is not for fun. It is also very, very fun, but it is such a need out there. If you look in your own country, wherever you are in the world, if you look in your own country and if you just love the leaderships that are there, if you just love the mayor of your city, if you think that the leaders of your organizations in the country is fantastic, then probably you don't need to do much. But if you think that there is an opportunity for improvement, I think JCI is the organization that actually will help create the next prime ministers and the presidents of your country to really making sure that leadership is something that is based on understanding. It's based on knowing that we have to continuously improve and continuously have high standards. And that's what you teach in JCI Syria. And that's what I really like about that organization. And as I said in the chat, so what's your excuse out there? If they can do these great things in Syria, you can do it anywhere. One of the questions earlier was that, do you think that the reason you can grow so fast is because there is a war?
I think yes. I'd say not. It's the only reason. It's the reason that wake up us. You said something. If you are happy with your mayors, we were happy in 2010. What was happening in Syria, but things happened. Nobody would thought that Syria would become a world country in just like a few months. So you never know. You should be ready. You should be prepared. You need to feed the country with the new generation, with new blood. Change is happening. Change is the only stable thing. So if you don't do it to the positive change, it will become negative. So start preparing. Even if you are happy, the war has an impact on us because we were pushed to work on that. We didn't have a chance. It was not an option. JCI in Syria is not an option. It's not a luxury. It's a must. We need JCI inside Syria. We need JCI. Exactly. We need to grow as quick. We need to have like chapters in all local organizations. We need to change mentality. Tell them, okay, if you disagree, you can debate. If you want to build, you have to listen to other people. You have to understand, to do needs assessment. We need to provide them with the tools JCI has. So exactly. it has been a must, and this pushed us to come there. And I think this is the reason why I came back. I was outside the country. I came back in 2015 because I felt JCI needed me when IPP Omar called me and said, okay, we need to bring JCI And we, the 19 members, I came back because I believed I was one of the founding. I didn't want an organization I was part of starting up to die, especially
No.
when I think that it can do something. It's the only thing we can do. I cannot be fighting. I don't know how to fight. It's the only
No.
thing to fight the war. Empowering young
Exactly.
people.
And as you say, this is what is needed in Syria, country in a difficult situation. And I can tell you, in Denmark, which is one of the most peaceful countries in the world, we still need this. And I think it's a need anywhere I traveled. To all of the national organizations listening in, this is something that is really needed out there. So there is no excuse. And I know from the growth that you had in the peaceful area of JCI Syria from 2005 to until 2011, you had a lot of growth because you really had high standards and you really did things, and you continuously stayed on the mission that you're here to
Yeah.
provide development opportunities that empower young people so that they can create positive change. And I'm happy that you were with us tonight, Mohammed. And for those of you still listening in, I will edit this so that the early start is out, and then tomorrow afternoon there will be a replay that you can share with your members. You will be on YouTube, and I think there's a lot of great learnings in this. We'll be back next month in May. Some of you will be traveling through area conferences and so on, but I really hope to see a lot of you for our meeting in May. So have a wonderful night out there, and thank you very much again, Mohammed, for sharing this with us.
Thank you
I
for the
know that there's been
opportunity.
a lot of great learnings, and stay safe wherever you are.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Greetings from Damascus. I'm today in Damascus. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.